everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at our Inno Roof Rack system with the Inno Aero Crossbars that are 48 inches long and 51 inches long, the Inno through feet for raised rails, right here on our 2021 Subaru Forester. So this roof rack is what I consider the sleekest looking roof rack from all of our different options for the Subaru Forester. If you're looking for the most cost-effective roof rack, that would be the Malone AirFlow2. The easiest to install roof rack is the Rhino-Rack roof rack, but the prettiest looking one would be our Inno Aero Roof Rack. You also have all the other premium features you would expect from a premium brand. You have integrated locks, you have your T-Track system, you have your aerodynamic bars. So we're gonna take a look at all those different features, but we're gonna focus on how they fit here on the Subaru Forester. My personal preference though are the longer crossbars that work the exact same way but give you a couple extra inches. So we'll take a look at that too. So let's talk about overhang. This measurement is going to be different depending on where you put your crossbars, just because your raised rails are skewed on your Forester. So this will just be an average length of from the tower to right before that crossbar. It's going to be about 2 inches of overhang for your rear crossbar. For our front crossbar, it's going to be about 2 inches as well. Now we'll take a look at roof clearances. So those are 2 different measurements. The first is going to be from the top of our roof to the bottom of our crossbar. Very important since we have a glass roof over here. We have a clearance of 3.5 inches. So if you have bindings on your skis, you'll want to be careful with that clearance. But most importantly, for accessories that have clamps that go around your crossbar, this is actually considered low profile. So you want to make sure those clamps aren't too big and will hit your roof, and that you have enough clearance as well to tighten things down if they use U-bolts or wing nuts. Second measurement is going to be the roof height, or the added height to top of our roof. So from the roof to the top of the crossbar, it sits at about 4 5/8 inches, and that's going to be where your cargo is going to sit. If you're carrying a ladder, that's the height up off your vehicle it's going to sit. If you're carrying skis with extra large bindings, you also want to be conscious of your ski and snowboard carriers, because that's not that much height for extra large bindings. The good news is that your Forester has raised rails with a pretty good amount of crossbar spread. You can adjust this depending on your different accessories. Some require a specific crossbar spread for their clamps. I have it at 29 inches right now, but you could move this further out or further back depending on what you want to do. And I would like to say you could probably get about a maximum of 40 inches of crossbar spread, which is really cool. Just be mindful that you can still open up your hatch. On the top of our very sleek aerodynamic crossbar, we have these rubber strips. So those are covering our T-Track. So if you open up the end cap, which has a little tab, you can just push down on these rubber strips and slide your T-Track mounted accessory through. That's really convenient because then you don't have to cut those weather strips. They pop right back up around your T-Track system, which means that everything is still in place. These are the Inno Aero bars. What are aero bars? Well, they're the more modern crossbar compared to your round and square crossbars. When you would drive down the highway with those on, it would be really noisy. You'd get a lot of wind drag. This is designed to reduce that wind drag and wind noise and make for a smoother ride without any accessories on top. This also gives you a bit more stability and space for T-Track mounted accessories, because if you have that T-Track system, you can then utilize all of the crossbar and not be limited by where the towers are. I highly recommend using T-Track mounted accessory just for that reason. Now you also have another option when it comes to Inno Aero bars. You can get, I believe, the 51-inch long crossbars. They're going to work the exact same way. They're going to look the exact same way, but then you get a little bit more overhang, which I personally recommend. Here we have the Inno through feet. So these are your towers, your foot packs, your clamps, whatever you want to call them. They hold your crossbars to your raised rails. And I would consider these sleek and low profile. So they don't give as much height as other towers, which could be a good thing since they could look almost factory in some people's opinions. Now, these have integrated locks. So all of them have a locking core, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're gonna get 2 keys. These keys match the entire system. They pop right in there, and once they are unlocked, you can just easily take that pack out and then access the locking or the tightening down clamp. Now, these do not lock your crossbars themselves though. So if you did have T-track mounted accessories, people could just pop off that end cap and then access that. So for that case, I would recommend taking a look at lockable T-track mounted accessories if you want to secure both your accessories and your roof rack. This roof rack system includes everything you need to install it. You have the levers integrated in the towers themselves. You get your keys, but some other things that are not included, but I recommend adding are 2 things. One is going to be a tape measure, just to get all your measurements. The second is going to be this Moki doorstep. So this is what I use throughout all of our videos. Gives me some extra height, extra traction, making it so much easier to tighten things down. Also, if you're going to be using roof boxes, roof baskets, and you need to strap cargo down, this is going to help out a lot with that on your Forester. So the install process can be very fast if you know what you're doing. So that's what this video is for. I'm gonna guide you through the process, make sure you get it done right, and you'll find out all my shortcuts as well. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this up so our tray is towards the center. You will have to press the button on the inside first in case you can't push it all the way in. And once that tray is lined up, you're ready to put your tower once you get this end cap off. Just press that tab, pull that off, grab your tower. So your tower is going to have these tabs. Those tabs are going to fit into that tray. So you're going to have a right tower and a left tower. You'll know because the tabs will only fit on the correct side. So once you got that in place, just fit it over and then pull it, and that immediately secures the tower to the crossbar. What I like to do from here is just to put our end cap on so it's already ready to go. And then we put this on our roof. Another thing is make sure it's facing the correct way. You want your tapered end of the crossbar facing the back of your vehicle and the larger end facing the front. So once you have that lined up, you're then just gonna go onto your roof and then fit the strap over your rails, and then the tower goes on top on each side, just like that. And now is where you take measurements. So I actually installed the first crossbar first so that we can install the second crossbar together. There's 2 measurements you're gonna have to take. One is gonna be the crossbar spread. That is how far apart do you want your crossbars to be. I want mine to be about 29 inches apart, just because that sounds like a good number for most accessories. Right there. So make sure to measure that on both sides, and then measure the overhang. So that's going to be from the end of the tower to right before the end cap. Make sure that's the same on both sides. Also, if you're using the Inno Roof Rack system with the shorter crossbars, you're going to want to have the long version in the front and the shorter crossbar in the back. So once you've taken those measurements and arranged things and rearranged things to make them perfect, then the next step is just to put this strap up into those tabs, and then you're gonna tighten it down with this included lever. I really like how they have an easy to use lever. So compared to tools and wrenches used to tighten down the towers, this is so much easier. Do this on both sides. So once you have that tightened down as much as you can get it, you're then gonna flip that lever down. Just double check that your towers are nice and secure. And then you have this end cap. This end cap's gonna go into your tower. It has a little tab that it fits in, and then you're gonna secure it with your key. And once all 4 towers are in place, and you've double checked that all 4 end caps are in place too, that's it for the install. So my personal thoughts about this roof rack system is if you are looking for a long-term roof rack system that gives you the stability, that gives you a great weight capacity, this has a weight capacity of 165 pounds, that has locking cores, checks off all the boxes, but also looks really, really good, this is what I would go for. Again, I do recommend getting longer crossbars because if you are going to get an aftermarket roof rack, those already have more overhang than a factory roof rack, so why not just go all the way out and get the most for your money. Now, if you are looking for something a bit more affordable and not as long term, the Malone AirFlow2 might be a good option for you. If you're looking for something that has those premium features as well, which is going to be that stability and the strong weight capacity, but is even easier than this to install, a Rhino-Rack roof rack for raised rails would be a good option for you too. I think you could also get longer crossbars with that system as well. So all in all, we have our different pros, we have our different cons. Hopefully this helped you out with deciding what's the right fit for you. Make sure to check out our etrailer.com fit guide though, because we have 2 different crossbar sizes for your Subaru Forester, and I want to make sure that you get the right system for your vehicle. And that was a look at our Inno Aero Roof Rack system with the Inno Aero Crossbars, the Inno through feet right here on our 2021 Subaru Forester.